Alright, who is going to be the next victim? Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Blitz and Banter with International Master Alan-Safar Ramoutar. Alright, starting up here, we got a player from Croatia here. White piece, what are we gonna play? Pawn to e4, signature move. Black plays pawn to c5, Sicilian Defense. We go here, knight to c3, knight to c6 he plays. Bishop to b5, this is my signature move. Knight to d4, and here I'm gonna play a move that I'm working on in my next course. Pawn to a4. This is my idea that I've played in many games. He kicks my bishop, I move simply back. e6, okay, pawn to d3, opening my other bishop. He plays knight f6, alright, I bring my other knight out, developing pieces. He plays d5 and simply bishop a2. So I have a lot of pressure on the center on d5 here, trying to put the question to him, what is he really going to do here? So black plays bishop e7. I don't believe that's such a great move. I simply can take here, and now I can double his pawns. After knight to e2, his pawns are doubled in the center here, and they're very weak. This does not look too good for him here. He should perhaps play bishop to g4, pinning my knight on e2, which would be a very solid and safe move. But let's see what he's going to do here. Meanwhile, I want to castle, perhaps bring my bishop out to g5. He plays queen b6, which is a bit of a strange move, but it's defending the pawn. Now, I don't want to think too much here, so let me just castle, and then I'll think exactly how I should proceed. Okay, so his queen defends the pawn. It also kind of restricts my bishop from moving with his queen attacks on b2 here. Now, one idea I could have, how could I gang up on this pawn here? Let me try bishop b3 here. Now I could perhaps play pawn to a5, kicking his queen, and now my bishop is ready to move out. He plays bishop to g4. Now I'll kick his bishop back this way, but I simply don't want his bishop to touch my knight. And now I'll play bishop to f4. Small idea of bishop to e5. Attacking his knight and his pawn here. So he has to figure out some way to defend his pawn on d4. If bishop to c5, I can perhaps take his knight and then take the pawn on d5. That could be one idea. And another idea, I could play pawn to a5 first, kicking his queen, asking his queen where is she really going to go. So black here, alright, black plays queen to e6. Now one option is to play pawn to f4 and defend my bishop. Another option is to take the knight and then to see simply what happens here. If I take on d4, he will take, knight takes, and queen e3, winning my knight. And I won't want that, would I? Pawn to f4 seems quite solid with the idea knight takes d4 next. However, the pin on d4 will be unpleasant. Let me try here bishop takes f6 and then simply take his pawn on d5. Okay, he plays like that. I don't think it's such a great move. Now I'll play king h1, getting out of any pins or anything like that. He doubled his pawns. His d5 pawn is a weakness, so I could pray on that. He missed perhaps knight f4. Now I want to simply capture on d5, and I believe I will right here. Okay, capture on d5. Now I want to play pawn to f4, kick his queen back, go back where you came from, just move queen, be gone. Alright, now I need to bring some more pieces out into the action here. Now the position isn't so easy, tell you that for sure. Knight also is a bit limited. Let me bring my queen out to h5, attacking his bishop, also keeping an eye on my knight. Seems to be pretty solid. Here I can simply, I don't know what stupid moves I made. I can just take his pawn here, attack his rook, threaten mate. Okay, alright. Now what to do here? Time is ticking low. That is a fact. Let me play knight e4 perhaps. Knight e4 seems very good. Getting the knight out of danger. Perhaps knight g5 is coming. Also attacking his bishop on c5. He's playing quite fast, but not necessarily quite good. So that's a big difference. You can always play fast, but you cannot always play good. My knight on e4 is a supreme piece. It's just planted here. Very good piece by the d3 pawn. And we won here, ladies and gentlemen. He threw in the towel. In which line was this game played? In my own line against Sicilian that I'm working on a new course to come out, which is called the slow and steady knight c3 against Sicilian. And ladies and gentlemen, we confused them, we bamboozled them, and we won. I hope you had your thinking caps on. You saw how I am thinking, how my thinking process works. And stay tuned for the next episode of Banter and Blitz with International Master Alan-Safar Ramoutar.